Hello, my name is Kathy Torgrosa, and this is my Cool Tools review and an explanation of how I plan to use this tool with students. I was inspired by the Vasinda and McLeod article, which described the pairing of Reader's Theater with podcasting, and thought of a website that I've used in the past called Giggle Poetry, of which there's a section for poetry theater. See the connection I made? Poetry theater works on the same principles as Reader's Theater. The students will reread with a purpose to help build fluency and comprehension. However, the poems use humor to build interest in poetry as a genre. The passages are short and more manageable for struggling readers, but there are longer passages for more advanced students. The topics are high interest to students. There certainly is a lot of opportunity to use voice for expression. The students can work either individually or in groups. It requires, just like Reader's Theater, multiple rereadings to get the intonation, voices, and text just right. And the difference here is that the poems can be introduced, practiced, and recorded in the same day, which I struggled with my first graders with longer texts and stories. So I'm going to click on this website and just show you the Giggle Poetry website. So here we are on Giggle Poetry website, and there's several things down the side here. And you'll see I'm in the poetry theater part. And these are all the poems. You can see that they do add new poems. So the one that I chose for the student in this particular lesson is called When the Bubble Burst. I would tell you that this part of the site is really good, but here's my caution. If you click on the Poetry Fun section, it'll take you to something that's maybe not quite appropriate for all students. Smokers' epitaph poems. And the fill in the blanks, the first one has to do with a first grader dying of smoking. So, cautionary tale. I really like the poetry theater part, but the rest of the site, not so much. I actually take some of the titles and put them in my own playlist so the kids don't search around here. So just a few more thoughts here. The learning objectives for my lesson were based on the listening, speaking, and fluency reading standards for grade 1. Since Reader's Theater is a tried and true research-based method for building fluency skills, which also results in improved comprehension, I sought out a way to easily add audio recording with the first graders. So the tool I used is called Voice Memo. It's an iPhone app. It can be used for a variety of purposes, like notes while driving, grocery list, or reflections on the day. In the past, my first graders have used it to add voice explanations to projects. However, I never thought to use it for building fluency by having students record their poetry readings. So basically this app is right on your phone if you have an iPhone. It's under Utilities. It's very easy to use. It's rated for ages 4 years old and up, so simple. You record and you can send it right to email, text messages, a variety of different apps, wherever you want to send it to. It does save the recordings by date. You can easily rename the files. My first graders put their names on their files. You can copy and send them real simply, and it records any length. And it's a free app. It comes included in your package if you're an iPhone user. So if I just take you to this is just a short recording of how it works. So if you have an iPhone, you go to Utilities, and in Utilities you'll see the icon for Voice Memos. You click that open and you can start recording. Now I'm recording this as a sample for you. When I'm done, I just hit this to say I'm finished. Click on Done, and it asks the students then to put in their name, so they can backtrack and they just put their name in and hit save, and it's easy as that. It comes up as theirs. It's a very simple app to use. Then they can share files from here, do whatever they want. They click on this. Now you can see the share button is here. They can trash it. They can edit it. It's a very simple app. So you can see that that is pretty simple to navigate. One of the other things that I found that was really nice is if you go to the website, you can get real simple directions. You see these directions here? I know it's really small, you can't read, but I just wanted to prove the point that there's 4 steps to doing this. And there's continues on to other steps for deleting, for editing. Everything is on one page. So it's a very simple thing for the kids to do and to be able to teach the students how to save, edit, move things around, send it to other things. It's very easy. To incorporate the cool tool and a digital text, my lesson will use a poem from this Giggle poetry site that includes the text structure of dialogue. This is a tough text structure for students to get, so I thought the audio recording would help them understand the dialogue. I don't easily have access to students for projects like this at the moment. However, I will likely be doing this lesson later in the year with students. So for now, I convinced my nephew to help demonstrate. When the students were done reading and recording, they would upload their reading onto a class Padlet. So I'm just going to navigate to the Padlet and you can listen to my nephew. So this is the class Padlet where everybody would upload their recordings to. You can see it's got the collaborative working icon here because this is a project for the whole class. It's the icon I usually use for collaborative projects. And Joey's poetry reading, When the Bubble Burst, is the title. Here is the recording.
When my bubble gum burst, it was really the worst. I had gum spread all over my face. It exploded, went bang, and my father said, "Dang," and my mother said, "You're a disgrace." Everybody turned around when they heard the strange sound. For the exit, I started to search. So please take my advice, blowing bubbles ain't nice when you're supposed to be praying in church.
So that's my cool tool, voice memos, and how I plan to use it with students. There's a text here of the poem and links for you if you wanted to check anything else out again. Thanks for listening.